now we actually have some borderline breaking news. So it's going to be a busy show. So I think without further ado, Bobby, you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
All right, the first game I have on our slate does not have news. Luckily, it is Green Bay versus Washington. Green Bay are 13-point favorites. It's come down a point since opening on 14. I guess it's a bit significant since it did open on a key number 14, but not the most key number at that high of a spread. And 41.5 total. This one. Bless you, Bobby. This one is tough because I'm not super keen on stacking this game, but Green Bay has one of the highest totals of the slate. They have the number 2 highest total of the slate, I think. So, like, how do you approach a game like this where it's not super stackable, but there are supposed to be a lot of points on the Green Bay side?
Really for me, it's just Davante Adams. And then maybe Washington defense at 1,700 as a pricing play. But that'd be it.
Yeah, Washington defense has played a bit better in weeks past. I mean, they've gotten 2 wins. They played well against Carolina, although it was Kyle Allen. They played
It's
well.
not really about them being good. It's more about price.
I mean, for them to 3x, they have to get the 5.1 points, right?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Yeah, so really a few sacks and don't put up 35 by Green Bay, and that's how you do it. If I were running back Davante Adams or Aaron Jones with somebody, I'd probably look at Terry McLaurin. Last week we saw, I think Darius Geis got under a third of the snaps. It was like 19 of 62 snaps. They gave Adrian Peterson almost the same amount of touches, and Chris Thompson got involved. So probably not looking to the backfield. I think Terry McLaurin's where I'd go.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. Other than that, not awfully interested in this game, and I think you can capture a lot of the points by playing one of Davante Adams or maybe Aaron Jones.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Jamal Williams too as well.
Yeah, Jamal Williams getting a lot of work. He outscored Aaron Jones last week, I believe, because he's the back who's been getting all of the receiving game work. Yeah. In this case, though, with being 13-point favorites, it would tend to have me towards Aaron Jones. If you tell me Aaron Jones gets borderline 20 touches because they're a massive favorite, I'd be very interested. So I think maybe he's an interesting tournament play.
No, yeah, he's fine in tournament. I think they're all fine in tournaments. It's just a matter of, like, is Washington going to keep up? And that just doesn't seem like that's the case. So I think that even hurts, like, Davante a little. Davante can still catch 2 touchdowns, but, like, at what point are they just going to pound it with either Jamal Williams or Aaron Jones? So, yeah, I don't know. They definitely make sense for tournaments. No one's going to play them. If you want to play them, that's fine. They've got really high implied team total. For me, it's just really difficult to kind of get there.
Yeah. All right. Next game I have on the slate, Tampa Bay versus Indy. Tampa Bay 3-point home favorites. The total has dropped 2 points since opening at 49.5. My first thought here is that Indy is really hamstrung by the loss of T.Y. Hilton. I guess they may be getting Marlon Mack back, but like just in terms of their offense, I think T.Y. Hilton's actually a big hit, as well as Eric Ebron, a bit of a hit too. I'm not sure that they can actually put up a ton of points, even like despite the fact that Tampa Bay's defense has really been pretty awful this season, especially towards the run. They've been good. But are you interested in stacking this game? How do you approach a game like this?
So Mike Evans is popping in the air yards model. I think he's a really good play. Buy low model. And then from there, like Paris Campbell at 3,200 is someone people are going to gravitate towards. In cash games, I think you could even run Colts D out there or Bucks D for that matter, one of the two. I think that's just ways to attack it. Outside of that, like there's not too much for me. Maybe but Jack Doyle, I guess.
Yeah, Jack Doyle got like I think 11 targets last week, kind of just underpriced for the role he's getting, but he's not like the most like athletic, talented player. Still probably underpriced for the targets. We'll see at what is he like 4,600, I think 4,100, something in there. I think this would be an interesting week if you're playing Chris Godwin to do another Chris Godwin Bucks defense stack because the loss. I think the Colts offense in the past, like I think in the past 5 weeks they've averaged like 20 points per game, it's like 20.6. It's down like over 1.5 points since losing T.Y. Hilton, basically. So I think this would be an interesting week to run a Chris Godwin Bucks defense stack. But if Mike Evans is in the air yards model, and he does not correlate with the defense. So
you don't like Jacoby Brissett for whatever reason. He doesn't turn the ball over.
He's also, I don't like Jacoby. He does not turn the ball over. I think that's an attribute that a player can have. He also does not throw touchdowns.
Who'd you tell me that didn't turn the ball over last week? And oh boy, did they turn it over. Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Kyler threw a pick
six. He threw a lot of picks. He threw it, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't throw the ball over. I think he talked me off Gurley Rams D stack because of that and got me on the Chargers.
Brissett also doesn't throw touchdowns. He's thrown like 2 touchdowns in the past 4 weeks or something. Like after starting off super hot for him and not actually true to what he does. He threw a ton of touchdowns in the first like 8 weeks or 6 weeks. Since then, he's throwing like a 1.4% touchdown rate because he's a backup quarterback and that's what they do.
Here's what Brissett does, and it's totally not applicable to fantasy, but he manages the game extremely, extremely well. Whereas Jameis Winston is terrible at that. It's like what he doesn't do well. And I think that like Brissett's efficiencies kind of offset Jameis's like other attributes. So I just think you could run like Colsty and like
you can run any defense that faces Jameis. Jameis is top 2 in sacks, fumbles, and interceptions. I believe that's like nutty.
Yeah.
How do you have that many plays to do all of that? That's incredible.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. All right. Next game we have on the slate. A game I'm
really setting here.
What?
I love the time we're setting here.
We are setting a good pace, but that's because we have 4 questions right now. And if you have questions, of course, throw them out in chat or in the questions section. We'll get to them. But we are setting a good time because I want to talk about this game, the Saints versus San Francisco. Saints are 2.5-point home favorites. Interesting that it moves over a key number of 3. It's a lot of line movement. It's 1 point, but it's more of 1 point than you get in other 1-point movements. And a 44.5-point total. I don't think this game is going to be nearly as stacked as people think. Like, I think we're going to get a decent amount of ownership on Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas not coming in super high owned. Drew Brees coming in very unowned. I just don't think people are going to stack this, despite the fact that we have 2 top 10 offenses playing in the Superdome. Like, am I crazy? Like, that's insane that we're not going to get, like, mega stacks of this game. And not only are we not getting stacks of this game, it would make sense if we had Alvin Kamara at 8-point-something K and Michael Thomas like when he was 9.9. They're the cheapest they've been in forever.
Yeah. I think that people are going to I don't know if people are going to stack it. I was stacking it up as of 2 hours ago. I had a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo stacks just because I like getting teams at low ownership with positive game script in the Superdome, second highest total on the board. And it's good, like, if Kamara is going to be chalk, it's a way to differentiate yourself off of Kamara. I'd kind of moved off of it, though, because I just think that there might be better spots that you can kind of get low ownership as well. You don't have to face the Saints defense. It worked like 2 weeks ago when we had that Christian McCaffrey was in the Superdome, but he gets his offensive concentration and his usage is so much different than anyone on this 49ers team. It's tough to kind of find that guy and then build around him in a stack for tournaments. Like Kamara and Michael Thomas are really good plays. On the stack that I was talking about on the San Fran side, I think I had Garoppolo, Kittle, and Sanders, and then one with Debo. I was playing around with. That was pretty much what I was doing, but I kind of moved off of it. What are you thinking with this game?
I mean, for me, I am looking. This is the cheapest Drew Brees. I heard it was the cheapest he's ever been on DraftKings. I don't know if that might be true. He's only 5,900. Or maybe it's the cheapest he's ever been at home. But for the existence of DraftKings to get Drew Brees at like a career low price is insane. And right now, I'm looking at his ownership at like 2%. Right now, I'm seeing ownership higher on Thomas than it is on Kamara. I would think that would be flipped, but either way, we're seeing this is just not a very chalky week in general. So I think it's pretty easy to stack get the Saints Kamara Thomas stack this week, which normally I'm not stacking 2 high priced players, but they're lower than usual, and they also do correlate with each other. They do have a decent amount of correlation with each other, and then run it back with either Kittle or Sanders. So Sanders and Debo have played 5 games together, full healthy games, which have also been played with Kittle. Sanders has the edge in targets, and he leads the team in air yards in those 5 games. So if you're stacking this, I'd much rather look to Sanders than Debo.
Yeah. No, I think Sanders was a good play. I like both of them, to be honest. It never me or just get into both of them, but yeah, I get why. I think I ended up finishing with the Sanders call, like you said.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't mind Debo either. I'm just chasing the volume, but Debo's a solid player and a great game spot, so it wouldn't bother me either.
Yeah, and he's the off receiver from Lattimore. I don't know. He's on the fast track. Who's faster? Sanders was faster, but I don't know if he's faster anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you at this point who's faster because it's been like Sanders' combine numbers, I'm sure, mean nothing to what he is right now. So
yeah, no, I'm with you. What's the next game?
Next game we have on the slate is it's Atlanta versus Carolina. Carolina are in Atlanta, 3.5-point dogs. It is a 47-point total after opening at 48. For me, it's kind of interesting. We are getting a decent amount of chalk in this game, especially with like McCaffrey, always chalk because he's always good chalk. And then Ian Thomas coming in as one of the highest owned tight ends. I do think it's interesting that we got some coach speak that they want to have a tight end by committee essentially with Alex Arma, somebody else, and Ian Thomas. I thought Alex Arma was a running back, by the way. I think he's probably an H-back. So are you still looking to Ian Thomas at min price in cash, despite the fact that now there's some coach speak that he might not be the absolute dude?
Yeah, just play him. 2,500, like just play him. That's pretty much it. Not in tournaments though. I'm kind of off it in tournaments. I guess why I think in cash you just play him.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to play like McCaffrey or Thomas, I'd be looking to stack them with Kyle Allen. That's probably the way to make it different. I think we might have talked about this on Wednesday, but if you were to, I'm looking at Kyle Allen.
We're not saying Kyle Allen is good either. We're just saying the way to differentiate high ownership.
Yeah, way to differentiate. He's indoors, like his team's indoors, I guess is really what matters. Against an awful Atlanta defense. It's literally the Superdome script all over again.
I like this, Kyle. You're starting to, I don't know.
It's only, I'll get it by week 17. It's week 14 right now.
You're getting it.
I would look to, I would be interested in stacking him actually with Curtis Samuel, especially because Curtis Samuel's going to be the lowest owned on the team, I would imagine, outside, like beyond DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey. He's going to be lower owned than them. And I know he hasn't done a lot this season, but the dude gets them sweet, sweet air yards. Yeah,
I don't hate Samuel.
But I mean, you can really stack him with anyone.
What about some Julio? No one's going to be on Julio this week.
I would rather play Austin Hooper. Like, I don't think people understand that Julio just hasn't been, like, in terms of targets. Like,
I've understood this for a while. I had to kind of get it in, break it into you and John, kind of tell you that it just wasn't happening.
Yeah, that sounds like something I might have done because I love Julio. But yeah, Julio just has not been the Julio that we know and love. His target share has been so low for Julio. It's been like mid-20s, I think, and we've seen him above 30 in the years past. I'd rather look to Austin Hooper or Devonta Freeman, but I don't know. Where would you look to?
I think those are good calls. I think Hooper's a really good play.
Yeah, I think Hooper, assuming he's healthy, was just crushing up until he got hurt. So no, I had no reason not to go back to him, in my opinion.
Yep.
All right, let's hop into our next game. We got a bunch of questions we'll have to get to, and we'll get to the questions at the end. All right. Next game. I like this game. We have Minnesota versus Detroit. Minnesota are 13-point home favorites. I believe they have the highest implied team total of the slate at 28.25 and a 43.5 total. Unless someone's over 28. I mean, nobody's over 28. Highest team total. Dalvin Cook will play, or at least as of now, he's expected to play, barring anything strange. So no Alexander Madison really no Alexander Madison chalk week at least. But how would you
have our chalk running back anyways?
Yeah. We haven't gotten there yet, but we do have our chalk running back.
Good tournament. You get that free square.
How do you feel about, I guess, to start off with, Dalvin Cook in this spot? I'd be very worried about playing him, but on the flip side, everyone's going to be worried about playing him. They're going to get mega low on. I'm seeing him as chalk. I doubt he gets chalky. What do you think of Dalvin Cook this week then?
I'm not playing him.
Yeah, I think I would feel very hesitant to play him because they are mega favorites. If they get up by more than 14, I expect to see a decent amount of like Madison or I don't know, CJ Ham or whoever. because there's no reason for them to play him as soon as they get up. The only situation in which he gets a ton of run is a close game, and I just struggle to see how David Blau and the Lions do that.
No, I'm with you.
On the flip side, I don't mind Kenny Golladay or Marvin Jones because the Vikings have not been a good passing defense in recent weeks. And Blau was fine in his first start, and they're going to be throwing a lot down 13. So I don't mind running those guys back with like a Diggs or maybe like Olabisi Johnson.
I think those are sharp calls. Olabisi Johnson is basically bottomed out in an island game. The thing is, Paris Campbell's like right there with a supremely better matchup. So I just play him, but Olabisi and Diggs are really good calls.
Yeah, so I honestly wouldn't mind like a Viking stack because they are expected to score the most points. You just have to live with the fact that if they get up with like I'm not playing a ton of if any Kyle Rudolph because I just don't like Kyle Rudolph. I don't think he's got touchdowns and jams down my throat on multiple island spots, but
yeah, I don't like him either.
Yeah, not getting a ton of targets, getting like more routes run by Irv Smith. So if you don't catch the touchdowns by Kyle, like if Kyle Rudolph catches a touchdown, my stacks are going to go down the drain. But I think this isn't a bad spot to run Viking stacks.
Okay, no, I like it. I like where your head's at. I'm personally not on it. I don't know.
All right, let's hop into our next game. Oh, we have actual news for this game. We
have run it back with Golladay.
I would run it back with Golladay, but if there's a major ownership discrepancy between Golladay, although I don't think there will be.
Marvin Jones.
Yeah, I just run they've been so 50-50.
Marvin Jones kills this team.
They've both been they're both like around 5% ownership, so I'll probably just run Golladay because he's a better player getting more targets.
Yeah, no, I honestly like Jones too. I'm like kind of like I don't know. Maybe you run Dalvin and a Blau, Marvin Jones, Golladay stack.
Yeah, I could see that. And if as long as they you're betting on, I think if you run,
no one's gonna play Dalvin.
Yeah, no one's gonna play Blau.
Man, no one's gonna play Blau.
Yeah, so as long as they can just put up some points, that stack would be great because then in that case, Dalvin probably stays on the field. Like if they keep it really within 2 scores. So
they're at home, so right?
No, this is in Minnesota.
Oh, never mind. Don't do that.
All right, let's hop into our next game. We have Houston versus Denver. Will Fuller not expected to play. Kenny Stills at 3,700 was already a decent value. Now I would very much consider him for cash.
Yep.
I don't think I think there's a fair argument for Paris Campbell at 3,200 over him, but I would still be looking to Stills. He just he took over that Will Fuller.
He'll be in the minority.
Really, you think so?
Yeah.
I
think so.
I play Deshaun Watson's number 2 receiver over Jacoby Brissett's number 2 receiver, and that's all,
Yeah, but they have the better matchup.
Yeah, you know me. I don't care about matchups. So.
I don't know. We'll get into it in a sec. Just go.
But yeah, we've got Will Fuller not expected to play. We won't know 100% until 11:30, but not expected to play. In the weeks where he's been out, Kenny Stills is just like Terminator T1000 morphed into his role completely, just taking all those routes, playing almost the entirety of the snaps, and all those come with Deshaun Watson as opposed to Jacoby Brissett. So I think he's a great play this week. And I mean, if people are going to play Paris Campbell over him, I think he's just a nuts tournament play, for 500 more with a better quarterback. I don't know, they're probably both as explosive players because Paris Campbell's a pretty explosive player as well. But I think that's a solid tournament, a great tournament play, honestly, if he's not going to be.
So I think you're going to get Watson and Hopkins as the cash game stack. So if you want to differentiate, when people are just going to play Campbell, in tournaments, you could play Stills. My thing is playing the Broncos defense and Sutton in tournaments.
All right. Do you want to talk about that a little more?
Yeah, I just think that Von Miller's playing you're taking Will Fuller out of that offense. They can't run the ball. They have to throw. And you're getting so much leverage off Watson and Hopkins. Hopkins has a tough matchup versus Chris Harris. Defense doesn't matter, but it matters. You have to decide when it matters. You know what I mean? It's speculating when defense will matter and how it's going to matter. So I guess at some points it does, but in actuality, you kind of go out with the assumption that it doesn't. I don't know. I think defense, especially in tournaments, when you get a lot of these people just throwing like heavy cat, like if you see like the optimal build's going to have a ton of Houston guys, like the Broncos defense at 2,500, that's an incredible leverage play. And stacking them with like like a Sutton or a Lindsey, I think is just a way to get ahead of the field if one of those two have a ceiling type game.
Yeah, no, you're definitely not wrong. And we've seen Watson be like extremely sack prone. I don't think he's been turnover prone this year.
No, he hasn't been. That's the thing. But like, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I was looking at it earlier. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I was just looking at, obviously, like we've had a couple weeks where it's kind of worked out.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that though. I'm looking at the correlation with Sutton and defense. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's slightly negative. I would be interested in running Philip Lindsay. Got like I think 17 carries. Yeah, let me see, Phil. I was interested in running Philip Lindsay, before I even was told of this interesting Broncos defense. Yeah, he's actually a slightly positive 0.15 correlation. I'd be interested in this, especially because I was interested in Lindsay before. He got like 17 carries last week. They've sort of phased Royce Freeman out. He's not completely uninvolved, but it's not the 50-50 split we've seen like at the beginning of the season. I like Lindsay a lot, so I think the defense stack is actually
interesting. The thing is, you have to find a running back spot for Lindsay, and you're kind of like pretty.
Yeah, see, that's the interesting thing is I feel very
hoping there was some correlation with Sutton.
Yeah, that's how I feel about. I was looking like even at Watson stacks. I wanted to run it back with Lindsay, but running backs this week
Sutton Broncos D doesn't have to correlate, right? Like they can just do well on their own, and
they were slightly negative correlated. It wasn't like they were major negative. Like they're probably within the bounds of randomness, I'm sure. So no, they don't have to correlate. They could both be good plays independently, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that you gain a ton of leverage if we still have like 4 hours to lock. Like we still need to figure out if like what the optimal is for cash games or what it's gonna like. People talk about dupe so much, like it's not duping, it's just pricing is so bad. So if you just figure out like who's gonna be like the poorly priced, if you just you can pretty much figure out like Bilal Powell's chalk.
Yeah.
Like Deshaun and Hopkins look like chalk, like probably Kamara. Like,
yes,
you know what I mean? So like, I don't know. Yeah, I just think that it's a good way to leverage Watson and Hopkins. And Hopkins' ADOT isn't what it was, and he's getting Chris Harris. So like, I think it's a little bit of a difficult situation for him, maybe.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at Deshaun Watson as like mega chalk right now. Funny enough, his ownership projection has literally gone up since we started the show. I think when I opened it up, it was like 17%. Now I'm looking at almost 20%. Yeah, he would be the second highest owned player on the slate. So yeah, I mean, obviously, any way you can leverage.
No one listens to the show anyways. So like,
yeah,
we give you the goods each week. No one listens to us.
Yeah, any way you can leverage, even if it's a low percentage play. Like yeah, the Broncos are 10-point road dogs, but I mean, any way you can leverage that in a large field is going to give you a massive edge. So,
I hate that Broncos D call, huh?
No, I don't hate it because it's like it's super sharp and defense doesn't matter. Like it's not like I don't the difference between like it's not like I think they're bad.
There's a ton of leverage with Broncos D.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think it's all right. Like I don't think it's the best play, but man, you are going to laugh your way to the bank if it works.
That's not going to work. You just cursed me.
All right, let's hop into our next game.
I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, no, it's worth thinking about. The next game we have is
don't do it, guys.
Baltimore. Whatever we say is going to be wrong. It's just going to
whatever we say is going to be wrong at this point. I'm just trying to like swing it back the other way. Yeah.
If you're playing the $3.20 max, it's only $3. Fire off one lineup with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next game we have is Buffalo hosting Baltimore. Buffalo are 6.5 point dogs. It's come up a point in favor of Baltimore, and the total has moved up a point from 43 to 44. I get that Deshaun Watson's underpriced at 6,500 in cash. I'd still rather try and find a way to get Lamar Jackson in. Like he is, I think I saw somewhere that he's averaging a Philip Lindsay of points just on the ground. Like his rushing work is equal to Philip Lindsay's entire fantasy career this season. He is he will go over 1,000 yards in this game. I think he's at like 970 or something. He's like top 10 in rushing. I just can't imagine not playing this dude for his floor. I get it. There will be players in spots that make them worthwhile. Like this week, Deshaun Watson. Last week, I thought Carson Wentz was in a spot that you're just like, I get Lamar Jackson's good, but Carson Wentz's spot is so good. But for me, my ability to pick that spot, even though it seems like Deshaun Watson is obvious, I would rather just take the safety of going Lamar Jackson. Am I crazy for just like ignoring everybody below him until he gets priced correctly?
I'm with it because I'm on Broncos defense.
Oh yeah, I guess so. You'd love it.
Here's the thing: is like Lamar is not going to be. I don't know what Lamar's ownership is going to be. Maybe this is like going mega like galaxy brain, but I don't know. Like if Ray, do we have Lamar's ownership up?
Yeah, it's it's 8.7%.
All right, so the Ravens defense is probably going to be higher owned than that, right?
Yeah, 10.9%.
Oh no, I figured they were more chalky than that. I was going to be chalky.
They're still.
I think you can correlate Lamar and Ravens D.
I mean, Ravens defense is still the number one defense of the week. So I mean, not like by a wide margin, but they are the number one defense of the week. So
yeah, I really like that correlation. Obviously, people are going to go to Ingram. If you want to be different, Ingram's probably going to be chalkier than Lamar. I think more than likely, maybe not.
No, it could change, but right now he's looking very unjockey. So if you were going to look at this game, maybe that's where you look to Ingram.
Yeah, one of those two, either or, like correlating them with the Ravens D, I think is pretty good. I like Lamar and Ravens D.
Yeah, I mean they have a pretty strong correlation too, 0.26. I mean for the NFL, it's a pretty solid correlation.
The issue is in tournaments, there's like no leverage there at all.
Yeah, I just think you play it because you're getting low-owned Lamar, not necessarily because it's not like Josh Allen's going to be chalk or anything, but given like the destruction we've seen Lamar like rake upon the NFL this season, I think 7,400 is just mega cheap for him.
Yeah.
So it's just a good low-owned play. It's not like super nut leverage or anything, but I think it's a good play.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Outside of that, I don't know. That's probably the extent to where I'd look to this game. Lamar Jackson,
John Brown is popping in models.
That's interesting. Maybe Lamar Jackson naked run it back with John Brown, especially because Lamar doesn't necessarily need to have another player go off to get him there.
Yeah.
He could throw he could throw a random touchdown to Willie Snead, and Willie Snead could still have a boring game. The same with like a Nick Boyle.
Marlon Humphreys is active for what it's worth, though. Just a heads up.
Yeah, so I don't care about that. I like John Brown.
You don't care about I don't care about it either, but it's
worth talking about at least.
Yeah,
it's worth saying for me to say I don't care. Yeah, it makes us seem like we're better at our jobs, even though it doesn't really matter.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it makes us sound professional. We're like, oh, cornerback back. Von Miller's playing. I'm probably not looking to stack this game.
Von Miller's a good play versus a rush. Wait a minute. Whoa. That's where I'm getting my sack equity at 2,500. Von Miller playing.
Yeah, no, it's cool that it's very cool that he's active.
That's an important note. Like, all right.
I'm just messing with you. I'd rather play Von Miller than without. I love that you grind the film. We have to have a film grinder on this show.
I don't grind the film. I don't watch film at all. I just know that he gets sacks.
No, I'll ship the all 22 to you whenever it gets here.
Backup. Okay.
Next game we have. I expect to see a lot of tournament chalk in this game. Probably not in cash because Watson's popping, but we have the Jets versus Miami. Although Bilal Powell is going to be chalk across every single format.
Chalk is like a hilarious. Like, I wouldn't want any. Like, I get it's paced up. This is a great matchup, but like, if everyone's going to be on this game in tournaments, there's other games that you can kind of go to. I wouldn't want as much equity in this game as obviously I'm going to have 100% Bilal Powell, but.
Yeah, Bilal Powell 3,500. Like, it'd be different if he was 40 whatever 100, like the price Malcolm Brown was. He was like 41 or 46.
What's Fitzpatrick's ownership?
Probably not very high. I'm looking at Sam Darnold around 7 because maybe it's just because I'm in the DFS bubble, listening to all the podcasts, reading all the stuff. But I'm expecting like Sam. I'm expecting. But the thing is, when you think of the bubble, you think of 8 people.
Yeah.
When I think of the bubble, I think of the next layer. I think of the what would be like the upper middle class that is like 1,000 people.
Okay. Well,
which actually probably
I'd rather be in the 8.
I mean, I'd rather be in the 8, but probably neither of those actually project any ownership because it's still like when you're playing the Millie Maker, that's mostly random people.
Yeah. Wait, what? Explain. I don't know even where this conversation just went. I'm lost.
I'm expecting.
I know this is a big defense doesn't matter show, but I have another defense take. Jamal Adams is out today. I think that opens up stuff for Gesicki. He's the one Dolphin that people aren't going to play as much as, I don't know.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely be lower owned than, like, I'm looking at Devontae Parker 13%. I'm guessing, I mean, maybe Laird will be less owned than like he was previously than he was like earlier in the week. Yeah, but he's still looking at 5% ownership for a dude who's no one knew his name 3 weeks ago. So, yeah. He's a fine play. He's going to be the starting running back. The problem is, like, it's not that Balaj was bad. He was. But every Miami running back has been bad running the ball because they're a bad team. Like, he's going to get 10 carries for 5 yards like he did last week. He really has to get there through the air. So
was he that much worse? I didn't team watch the games.
Oh, I didn't either. I just know he had 10 carries for 5 yards.
Does he pass the eye test like Balaj?
I don't know if he passes the eye test.
I don't know.
I think the eye test is that every Miami running back has been bad, so he's going to be bad. Yeah, and he could still get there through.
Just wondering.
Yeah, he could still get there through the air, but I think as a rusher, he's probably
definitely get there through the air.
Yeah, exactly. He can he's had multiple good weeks in the past 2 weeks through the air. They're mega dogs against a bad Jets defense, so he could still get there. But it seems like his path to failure.
And it's paced up. He's going to get into a ton.
Oh, you said Fitzpatrick. I can Fitzpatrick under 5% right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're stacking this game with like a Darnold,
I hate this game.
Yeah, a Darnold whoever stack. I mean, Robbie Anderson so what do you do with a player like Robbie Anderson who is just in the best spot? He's getting volume over the past few weeks. He's like, I think his matchup, like the Dolphins have done better against slot than outside receivers. His matchup is perfect. He's gotten volume and he's Robbie Anderson. And literally everybody is on it. What do you do in a spot like that? Like, it's like the Will Fuller week or 2 weeks ago, the Odell Beckham week.
Not play him.
Love it.
I guess, play him. Go ahead. Like, he's the one guy. If you're going to play Darnold, like, instead of going to Crowder, just play Robbie. I don't know. People are going to own Crowder in tournaments. Like, I get why you'd play Robbie. It's just, I don't know.
So I am looking at Crowder as like a top almost 5. 1, 2.
He doesn't have nearly the volume of John Brown. You're making the case that it's the same spot as John Brown and Odell.
No, I
haven't seen near that volume. Like, anyway.
Yeah, I am saying
it's a game theory play where you're leveraging like recency bias, like I have right now, where I don't want to play him.
Well, I'm saying
higher stakes. Like I don't think a lot of people are going to play him.
I'm looking at ownership.
Well, you're in a good spot.
I'm looking at ownership top 5 on both, like top 5 at the wide receiver position for Robbie and for Crowder. I don't know if they'll both hit top 5, but they're both going to be owned. Why don't we just play Miami defense?
Yeah, you could. Wait a minute. Whoa. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Wait, why?
Because they have two of the highest owned receivers. The Jets.
Crowder but they're not. Yeah, for me, like I would just more want to get the 2 guys that are going to be in the optimal lineups. But I get Miami defense. That's fine, I guess.
Yeah, I agree, though. If this game's going to be super chalky, I'm probably not as interested in it.
But Laird and Miami defense, I guess, somewhat would correlate.
I could get down with some of that. Yeah, I mean, they're both.
I easily think Miami could beat the Jets today. Like, so
I might have to run a Miami defense.
And Miami's trying to win games now for whatever reason. What's Miami D's price? I think they're in the 3Ks. That's why it's not like
that would be stupid as hell.
They're pretty priced up.
Miami. Yeah, they are. They must be priced up. Oh my god. Yeah, they're 3K on the dot.
Yeah, like I don't want to do that. Like,
yeah, the chance they actually end up in the optimal lineup is not worth playing them at 3K. If they were like, they should be.
They were like 2,200 or
yeah, that's where they should be. Yeah, so that kills that. I would rather run like one-offs of this game and just hope Robbie gets all the it works out for Robbie than running a full stack because that's going to be super popular. And then I'd run it back with probably if Devontae's going to be owned Gesicki because Gesicki's getting a decent amount of a lot of volume for a tight end and he's running deeper routes. So
if you're playing Powell, you don't have to necessarily have something off of him. You could just play him by himself. I think a lot of tournaments, good tournament lineups that I've seen are just playing the egregious chalk and kind of building lower owned stacks around the egregious chalk. They kind of think that's a
play below Powell too. I don't know if we talked about it, but yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
You just play Powell.
Yeah,
however he's going to be the highest owned player on the slate, and then you move on, and then play just different guys. You don't have to stop this game, but
yeah, just pretend there's only one running back position because below Powell, it'd be different if he was 4,600 or 4,100. He's 35. In the past few weeks, he's gotten a decent amount of work with Le'Veon Bell being active, and Ty Montgomery has not gotten almost any work. So I would imagine
Robbie Anderson's kind of in play right now.
Yeah, I think maybe one final way I want to talk about this game is if the Jets just
screwed up everything that I've thought about this morning.
If the Jets were to just crush, if we get the Ryan Fitzpatrick collapse week, which happens every 3 weeks, run Powell Jets defense maybe, and just hope that they don't have to do much. And that would kill the Crowder Robbie Anderson.
If people are just clamoring to roster guys from this game, I get why, but it's just I want to get away from it so much just outside of Powell.
Yeah, I think maybe Powell Jets defense and the Jets defense kills the upside of the offense outside of Powell.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop into our next game. We have Browns versus Bengals. Browns now 7-point favorites. It moves on to a key number. It is a 42.5 total. Both of the Browns receivers, Landry and Odell, are pretty low priced. I think 65 and 63 or 62. And I think they're probably going to get lost among the plays. I'm looking at Odell 7% at 6,300 is very interesting. I thought he was going to be chalkier until recently. And Landry... Landry's actually going to be kind of chalky, apparently. So I actually think Odell's probably in a great spot then. And obviously, we talked about it. I think Wednesday.
Playing that range. Easily playing that range.
Who is?
Sutton. In tournaments.
I can get on board with that. Courtland's a good player.
Landry and Odell are going to take away from each other. Chubb's going to take away from the two of them.
Well, Chubb is the play.
Odell's going to be in the cash game. Everyone's going to talk about going to Chubb or Landry, I guess, but the best play might be just to play Sutton.
So I think Chubb is probably still a good play.
I like Chubb. I just don't like the price. And then,
he's mega priced up for a dude who doesn't catch passes anymore.
So I was on Chubb pretty heavily, and then that hernia issue came out with Odell this morning, and it just I wish that news didn't come out because I would have definitely rostered. I wanted to play Chubb a ton, but Odell's playing through a hernia. He's been playing through it, so I guess it really doesn't matter, and the price is really low. But I think it'll move ownership off of Odell when Odell is going to be really chalky. I think people are going to go up to DeAndre. And that was with the Odell news. I think people are moving to DeAndre and cash. I might not be positive on that, but I think that would make the most sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, if a player is playing through an injury and you've got a relatively cheap DeAndre and you're playing Deshaun already, makes sense. Any interest in if you are playing any Browns, any interest in running back with any Bengals? We've got John Ross back in the lineup, but Ontae's been bad, but he has been fulfilling the role that John Ross was doing. Tyler Boyd had a good game with Andy Dalton back.
And that's opposite Denzel Ward.
You think I know?
I get that would be something that I'd be interested in doing, but not really. I think Browns D is a good play.
Yeah, I'm probably not super interested in running it back at all, really.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop into our next game. We have the battle of two players who refuse to score, Jacksonville and Leonard Fournette versus Mike Williams and the Chargers. Mike Williams on pace to break the record for most receiving yards without a touchdown if Robert Woods doesn't do it first, because Bobby Woods also on pace to break that record.
Bobby Woods. Yeah.
I
honestly like Mike Williams. I think you can play him this week. I think he's going to get that box.
Yeah, he is getting a ton. We don't have to explain regression, but he's getting so many yards. He's averaging 70 yards per game, a ton of air yards.
And Hunter Henry as well, just to throw it out there.
I think Hunter Henry is one of the better tight end plays of the week. He's gotten, since he returned, I think it was week 6, has gotten more volume in terms of targets than all but 2 tight ends and more air yards than every single tight end, and just hasn't had the blow-up week. But, I mean, that's how randomness works. And he gets to play an awful trash Jacksonville defense at this point. So I love Hunter Henry in this game.
I thought about Phillip Rivers for a second this morning, and I just completely erased my mind.
So I think about Phillip Rivers every other time because they throw so much that I'm like, oh, Mike Williams, a good play. Hunter Henry, I like Hunter Henry. Oh, Austin Eckler's great.
Yeah, Hunter Henry's a great play today.
Maybe I should play Phillip Rivers and stack it all, but he's so bad at this point in his career. He's having a career bottom or bottom 3 in terms of touchdowns, interceptions.
He's gonna be the worst, man.
Yards per attempt. There were, I think it was Rapp who maybe it was Rapp or Schefter talked about that there were rumors that Tyrod Taylor could end up playing today.
Tyrod would win. They'll win the game.
I love Tyrod Taylor, one of my favorite players in the NFL.
Legitimately think they'd win the game.
It's better than Phillip right now.
Rivers is bad, man. Oh,
yeah, for sure. Maybe that's why Mike Williams can't score. But I think,
he can't throw 20 yards downfield.
Yeah.
He throws with 2 hands.
So on the Jacksonville side, and another team that largely disappointed last week outside of D.D. Westbrook, any interest in any of the Chark, which I imagine will be no owned?
I think you definitely play Chark this week.
Yeah, nobody. I'm looking at for ownership. Nobody's going to be on Chark, despite the fact that the dude's 6'3" and one of the better athletes just on raw numbers. At his size, it's incredible. Getting a ton of air yards on pretty deep targets. I like low-owned Chark. Give me some of that, and you can stack it with Hunter Henry as well.
Yeah, I like that call.
Fournette, I'll always play Fournette. All the volume, I think he's second in every volume-based metric as a running back.
Yeah, he might hit cash. He might end up being a cash. I don't know. The spot's really good. And Melvin Gordon's spot's really good too.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at Melvin Gordon's. He's projecting very well for his he's 60-something hundred.
Hate him,
but it's too against the show's brand to play Melvin Gordon. I think for me,
I played him last week because you talked me off of Gurley and Rams D. I played Gurley and Melvin Gordon actually. Well, I had Rams D, but you knocked me off of it, going 100% because Kyler Murray doesn't turn the ball over. Apparently,
don't you disrespect Kyler? Oh, Melvin Gordon missed a 100-yard bonus by a yard. What a shame.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But over the past, he's had 3 games with 20 carries over the past 4 weeks. Obviously not getting a ton of receiving work, but he's gone over 3 targets in all of those games as well. Gordon's actually a pretty good play. That hurts.
Yeah, good play.
He's a good play. So I'll probably, I don't know. Austin Eckler's been scoring at a very high rate, which I think has buoyed his volume. Probably not interested in him, even though he's the better running back, to be clear.
He is the better running back.
We talked about it on the show. He's the better running back, but we chase volume overall.
He'll go off today, by the way.
What?
He'll go off today.
Yeah, of course he will. That'd be okay, though, because we've talked about him all season as a great player, so I'd still feel like a little win. On the other side, I'm probably only interested in Chark and Fournette. Yeah. Only interested in Chark and Fournette. Let's hop into the next game. Let's see. Oh, we have our Lord and Savior Kyler Murray versus the Steelers. Cardinals are 2.5.
An issue with this game, but go ahead.
Yeah, Cardinals are 2.5 point home dogs. On the Pittsburgh side, we've got Juju and Connor out. Benny Snell will start again, I assume, but he does not get any targets, and he's 60-whatever hundred.
He doesn't get any targets.
He
doesn't get any targets because I seen him get a target. All Hodges does is check down to the running back. That's all he did last week. All he did.
Would you like to know how many targets he got last week if it'll load?
He got 1, but James Conner played the majority of the game. This is team watch the games that you're not paying attention to. James Conner got a ton of targets, and that could change with Hodges.
But that's not how they use them, though. Is the thing?
What?
That's not how they use them. They don't.
So that's the thing. Yeah. So for me, that's what I'm trying to figure out in my head. Am I paying 6 for Snell, or am I paying for Jalen Samuel 5?
I can't imagine paying 6 for Snell, a guy who I don't think they're going to use him in a role.
Catch passes this week because James Conner notoriously doesn't catch a ton of passes, and he caught a bunch last week. He might have caught 7 passes last week because Hodges kept checking down.
No, James Conner didn't play last week, and it was Samuel that played.
Wait. Who? Whoa. Oh, was it really?
Yeah, Connor didn't play. Connor hasn't played in like 5 weeks.
Oh shit.
And Samuel Samuel did play, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one who did catch a ton of passes, and that's exactly what he does.
I was watching the YouTube highlight. I thought it was from last week.
Oh no, film grinder.
Delete the last part of this. Wait a sec. Who did they play last week?
The Browns. They played that close one where Baker got picked off at the end.
Oh, so okay. Oh my.
And no, even
I don't play James Conner or anyone from the Steelers, so that's why I had no idea what I was looking at.
Yeah, even Samuel didn't get a ton of targets last week, so.
Oh shoot.
It's the James Washington duck blind narrative.
What is it?
They hunt together. James Washington and what's his face? They're back. Their third string quarterback.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they hunt together.
Devin Hodges is very cashy and viable, I guess. When did they play the Chargers? Like what week was I watching highlights from with Duck Hodges? Was it like preseason football?
I would. Yeah, it was because Hodges. They didn't.
They had dude.
They haven't played the Chargers this season. Do we need to send you help?
I don't know. I for some reason I thought they played them recently. They highlights from the game.
I'm looking at their schedule. They haven't played the Chargers. Oh no, sorry. Oh, thank God. This is I was looking at the Browns schedule because I was looking at their game. They probably have played the Chargers, but either way,
no, they might have not actually.
That'd be hilarious. No, they played the Chargers like 5 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah,
no, like 7. Holy Christ.
But Hodges played in that game. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it might have been. It was the one. What's this? Mason Rudolph got hurt like the game before.
Okay, I'm playing Samuel. I'm playing Samuel.
Glad we could talk through this. On the other side, I'm still.
If Kirk is chalk.
I'm still in on Kenyon Drake. We talked about him last week, and he got the volume. It just doesn't hit all the times when you get the volume. But in the first half, David Johnson got 1 touch. Chase Edmonds didn't play an offensive snap the entire game. So I'm imagining in their game plan, it's Kenyon Drake is their lead back by a wide margin. And also Drake's gotten he's averaged double-digit carries with the team. He's getting a ton of targets with the team. So
yeah, I like Drake. I like that call.
And I think Kirk is in the buy low model, and he's also a player who's super explosive. Any interest in running Kirk back with the defense, who he's been correlated with, and he's playing a third-string quarterback.
Yeah, so I like Kirk. I just can't figure it out. If Kirk seems like he's in the cat, he's going to be cash, then I'd probably be interested in Samuels and these Pittsburgh guys more. Because I'd probably want to play Kirk and have exposure to that and then differentiate. Right now, I have no idea.
I'd be surprised with all of the.
My mind was blown that I was watching the wrong game.
Oh man,
I was building lineups around that game.
Oh god.
Oh my god, it's tough.
I doubt with all the good plays we have at receiver that Kirk makes into the cash game build because people, like you said, I think people will be pivoting up. I think we're going to get Stills and Campbell are going to occupy a ton of people's lineups. Hopkins, I still think we'll get some chalk on Odell. Michael Thomas is massively underpriced. I think they're just he's a good play, but he's not Kirk isn't.
Michael Thomas is going to be cash. You get Stills and Paris Campbell. People are going to get up to Thomas.
Yeah, but because of these things, I think we're not going to get. I don't think Kirk will be in the cash game lineup. I don't think he'll be awfully.
No, I know. Yeah, that's why I'm just getting I'm just deleting everything that I do.
Yeah, just picking up the pieces of your brain.
This. Yeah.
All right, let's hop into our next game. I have enough of this film grinding narrative. A game that it's got a high total. It's Oakland versus Tennessee. Oakland 3-point.
Fuller is not officially out yet now. Just for people.
Fuller is what?
Fuller is not officially out.
Yeah, I doubt. I mean, if Schefter tweets it, I believe it. But
yeah.
But yeah, no, we got to wait till 11:30. Oakland versus Tennessee. Oakland 3-point dogs at home. 47-point total. So I mean, I have been someone. You guys are great. Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah, thanks.
We're trying our hardest.
Sees this no one can pull the. Oh man.
So I have been banging the Ryan Tannehill is not good drum since he got the start, and he has just been cramming it down my stupid face. But he hasn't.
No one's watching this.
but like I think maybe so. This game's got it's one of the highest totals of the slate actually. I think Tannehill is going to be pretty popular. He projects well, but like he almost is in my mind like Ryan Fitzpatrick-esque in a way, in that he has had like multiple spots in previous years where he just collapses. Like he's a bad quarterback. So I don't mind running like Raiders defense.
I just Tannehill, like this is gonna burn me this week too, because like it's the same situation with Devontae Parker last week. Like there was no way I wanted to play him, and now like Tannehill seems like a guy that you might want to consider playing this week, and I haven't considered it at all, pretty much because I was YouTube watching exhibition highlights from Duck Hodges. I thought was last week instead of 3 weeks ago, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Tannehill, AJ Brown, I think is fine. Like that makes sense. Run it back with Waller. Jacobs might not be out, so if you leave yourself the optionality, like if you don't play Bilal Powell or Laird and Jacobs is ruled out, then you can play like Jalen Richard and hopefully he outscores them, and you have a little stack there that probably be, I don't know, low owned or give you leverage in some way. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting to leave yourself the option of swapping down to what would end up being like what we would have thought was mega chalk if Jacobs is out, but obviously we won't know. It's supposed to be a game time decision, so leave yourself that option to swap there. Yeah, I don't know. This is two teams that have been like very bad at many points in the season with an awful quarterback in Ryan Tannehill, and I just kind of want to fade it.
Yeah, let's get on the next game.
Last game of the main slate, we have New England versus Kansas City. New England are 3-point home favorites, a 49.5 point total. At some point in this week, that line dropped, and it has since come back up. I think this is a very interesting game. So I'll give you the film grinder narrative only because I've listened to other people say it on podcasts, not because I would ever do something so heinous. They have put Gilmore on Kelsey the past 2 times they've met, and then they've bracketed Tyreek Hill. That has not worked for Hill. Hill has beaten them multiple times.
Oh, he beats them every time. It doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work either.
I think
so. Like I had my favorite play of the week, and then I was watching like Pete Overzer's bankroll show and the guy Josh ADHD. Well, this was my favorite play earlier on in the week. I really liked Hardman at 3,800, but now you have all that value. Like there seems no reason to play him.
Yeah.
A lot of these, like Hardman and Demarcus Robinson, are both priced down because they didn't really throw last week. So they're 2 guys, if you're MMEing, that you should probably have like be over the field on, and it won't be hard to be over the field. They'll be very low owned in the highest pace game of the week. So like that. Mahomes stack. I didn't mean to cut you off, by the way. You want to?
No, I like where you're going with this. So keep going. Okay. If you said something I didn't agree with, of course I'd be mad. But
anyways, on top of that, like I was very bullish on the Chiefs defense at 2,200 just because I knew people wouldn't go there. But there's no real leverage in playing them, I feel like, unless one of these Patriots guys got chalky, and that really didn't happen. But I think that was interesting with like Tyreek and Chiefs D. Was something that I was considering. Now I'm pretty much not doing that. But I definitely still like Tyreek, and I like Mahomes. Yeah, my lineup's just formulating in my head now that we've gone over this, and I've gone off that exhibition game I was watching.
So on the other side of the ball,
Edelman, you could play Edelman with Chiefs D because his usage is, people think like you can't do that, but Edelman's usage is so high. Regardless, he's still like Levitan would say a 3 condom play, but I think you definitely could do it in higher field and lower field tournaments, I guess.
I think Edelman is a phenomenal play this week, especially since I think ownership is going to slightly gravitate off of him because we've had some spots open up. But Chiefs passing defense has been trashed this season. And Edelman doesn't need to have the Patriots offense go off. Like he's just so insulated from any sort of bad outcome. It's like Michael Thomas-esque in that way. He's seen double-digit targets for 7 straight games, 6 straight games. No, 7 straight games.
They doubled him last week, and he saw 13 targets.
Exactly. He's this happens. I think it's happened multiple times when DeAndre Hopkins has played the Jags defense, where anytime he's played a good defense, he just gets more targets. So it doesn't matter.
They can't double him either this week because you have Sanu there now. Well, Sanu played last week, but Dorsett didn't play, and there was more. Did Dorsett play? I don't even know.
No, because I know Jacoby Myers got on the field a lot, so that means he probably didn't play.
Probably didn't play, right?
Either that or they just started rotating the receivers more.
Yeah, I think Harry's a good play too, for what it's worth. And we didn't even talk about like Brady's a really good play this week. He's in the highest paced game. One of the highest paced games. They have an extremely high implied team total. And this Patriots game stack with James White, who's definitely seen increased usage last week, isn't going to be owned comparative to like other situations.
Yeah, so I thought, so I was looking at these games, and I thought, well, the Oakland total is pretty high, and the game total is pretty high. They have a pretty concentrated offense. Why don't I play Derek Carr? And then I was like, that's an awful play. Derek Carr sucks. If you want to play a player who hasn't had like the highest or hasn't been like as good as we expected them to this season, much rather play the Tom Brady stack.
Yeah, and here's a new narrative. His son's birthday today.
Oh, I like the Suns narrative birthday. I actually think just stacking this game in general is probably going to be under-owned to what it should be.
Yeah, so yeah, I like the Brady stacks. I like Mahomes stacks. It's a really good game, and it's definitely for me. Like if everyone's going to play like this Jets and Dolphins game, I'll just wait out, give myself optionality with these 4:00 games, and kind of just see how the slate kind of opens up. But then Robbie Anderson could just dagger me in the back, like 180 yards and 2 scores.
All right, let's get into questions. That is the entirety of the main slate. We have a lot of questions. It's ugly, but please pick one. Geis, Coleman, Hunt, Hyde, or Laird. Geis, Coleman. Oh man, our Laird and Savior, Patrick Laird for me.
Yeah.
Like none of these players have. Maybe Hunt has basically the same role, but outside of that, none of these players have great roles in their offense, especially last week with Duke Johnson getting more involved. That kind of eliminated Hyde until the fall. Like Duke Johnson was leading the team in carries until the last like 2 drives where they were running out this lead.
I lost for a sec. What'd you say?
Like last week, we saw Duke Johnson led the Texans in carries, I think, until the last like 2 drives where they just ran out the clock with Hyde. But yeah, I don't know. I'd take Laird over any of these dudes. I'd take our Laird and Savior.
I'm with you.
Hi guys, my usual need FanDuel quarterback and defense for a head-to-head. I don't think I'm playing Lamar Jackson in cash anytime I can. So who defense-wise, how do we look on FanDuel.com?
I didn't hear it. I keep going in and out for some reason.
Who's your favorite defense on FanDuel.com?
On FanDuel?
Yeah.
I'm not playing FanDuel today. Whoever's 3,800.
I am looking at Carolina at 3,500 as one of the better projected defenses. Ironically, both these defenses project well in a game with a decent amount of scoring. Indy defense at 4K against Jameis.
How about Jets? What's their price?
Hold on one second. I was looking at quarterback. Jets. They are 4.1K.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would go Indy.
I don't have FanDuel prices pulled up, so I can't see.
I would go Indy defense at 4K. Jets at 4.1, also a pretty, actually probably a safer play, but I just anytime you can play against Jameis, I'd probably do that.
Jameis.
Anytime you can bet against him, yeah. Right now, so actually, FanDuel, being apparently the smarter website, has priced Lamar up to 9K. I still think that's a totally fine,
much better website. No, I'm joking.
a totally fine play Lamar Jackson at 9K, but the price on Deshaun Watson at 7.7. Like if you're playing
DK, I'd much rather play DK. But Jets, Falcons. I'm trying to find the prices.
Well, anytime you can get arbitrary yard bonuses, you got to do it. Deshaun Watson at 7.7. Like, I love Lamar, but they actually did it
on FanDuel.
Yeah, they actually did a decent job of pricing Lamar up.
One of the two.
Yeah, Jets or Falcons, and I'll just eat. It's cash. Who cares?
I think it's easy. I think it's the Jets.
Yeah, play the chalk quarterback in Deshaun Watson.
You're playing Powell, right, on FanDuel. It makes sense. Yeah.
All right. Let's hop into – okay, so the conclusion we came to was Deshaun Jets defense.
All right.
Next question, morning. 2 season-long PPR questions. Marlon Mack, Laird, or Penny. I'd go Laird, especially because it's PPR. If it wasn't, I'd be much more considerate of other things. Also, Dallas Goedert or Mike Gesicki. I'd probably run Gesicki. Yeah, I think you just get more targets. Although, I mean, Goddard's been playing a lot, but I'd just rather play the starting tight end who's been getting volume. So it's close, but I'd play Gesicki.
Can't believe you have me playing Benny Snell.
Why did I have you? I said don't play Benny Snell.
Dude.
Zach Pascal or Tyrell Williams. This is a good one. I have no clue. I'm just going to look at who's projected higher.
Zach Pascal. He's playing the Bucks.
That's true. Funnel. Gotta trust the funnel. Pick 2, Galladay, Landry, Crowder. Galladay, Landry for me. I don't know. I'm not playing Crowder.
Galladay, Landry, Crowder. Crowder is just like the easier play. You just say Crowder. You're play, dude. 5,300. What are you?
Oh, I was assuming this was like a season long question. I didn't even think about price.
Oh, I was thinking DK.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's DK, then yeah, it's a much closer conversation. I'd easily pick Crowder over. Yeah, I'd pick Crowder over all these guys on DK. I know Galladay is more expensive. Landry is slightly more expensive. But like season long, especially, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, Crowder. Last question, although I guess we last question. Full PPR, pick 2, Crowder, Singletary, Eckler, or Madison. Crowder. Would you go Singletary over Eckler or Eckler over Singletary?
I'm Eckler and Crowder. Eckler's gonna have a good day today.
All right, I like it. I think there's a question in the chat. I'm with you. I'm with you both. So I was in Snell 2 back. I think it's saying Snell still bad. Snell with Pittsburgh D. I don't know. I think I'm just not. Although that would be the scenario in which you would play them if you thought their defense did well and they kept a lead. I'm just not playing a guy who got 1 target last week and like is not a cheap Derrick Henry. Like there are certain players I'm fine with getting no targets, but Benny Snell is not one of them. All right. We ran long.
Talk about that. So Jalen Samuels, are you on him or off him?
I'm not on either of them.
It's a pace-up game, dude.
Yeah, no, I'd rather look to even a priced-up James Washington or Deontay Johnson, who I don't think
it's pretty much the same. I don't know.
Deontay Johnson's projected under 4%. Like, I think I'd much rather run like Drake, Deontay Johnson, or Kirk Deontay Johnson or James Washington than any of their running backs.
All right, interesting.
Yeah, that's how I look. I just looked at the receiving game. So
yeah, I get you.
No more questions. Oh, we have one more question just came up. What are the expectations for Cook versus Madison? I mean, as long as I think anytime that the Vikings are in like neutral, any basically not 2-score game, we're going to see pretty much the same split we've seen in weeks prior with Cook getting most of the work. And if they have like a massive lead, like right now they're 13-point favorites, I think if they're blowing them out, Madison will come in. I don't know, in season long, you're starting Cook still. In my opinion, I'm not playing really any Madison anywhere. So that's how I think it's going to shake out.
Nice.
Madison's probably going to like backdoor cover that with a touchdown on the final drive when they're up 21.
Possibly.
Like, I lost my league quarterfinal. Oh,
I lost my house.
All right. That is the end of the main slate. Got long main slates from here on out. Our shows. So everybody, thanks for tuning in, staying through us finding out Bobby watched the wrong film.
Not that I'm a big film watcher. I just want to see how colleges play. I didn't know there was a game from, I don't know. So.
That's the end of the show, everybody. Enjoy week 14. We will catch you on the Wednesday broadcast at 8:15.
All right.